Harry and Meghan were absolutely outraged by the news that it turns out Eugenie and Beatrice have these subsidised peppercorn rents at St James's Palace. Personally, I'm not really fussed about that. I mean, it's kind of, it is the King's property. It's not a Crown property as such, so he can do what he wants. And it's the family and friends, it's up to him whether he offers them that rent or not. It's the things associated with the princesses that are more concerning. But you can understand, Harry believes, well, suddenly Frogmore's off the equation and, they've re-venerated that. There's no chance of him getting that back. And remember, Harry wanted to continue to pay that rent. He believed that they could just come and go utilising that property. Of course, it was William that absolutely put the boot in and said, no, I don't want him on the Windsor Great Estate, particularly with him and Catherine now residing there most of the time with their children and George going off to school at Eton in September. You can see how all of this really go figures. Of course, now Harry doesn't want to go to Buckingham Palace because it doesn't feel secure enough. I mean, it's ridiculous. You want to try living our lives, love, If you don't feel secure behind those gates and those walls, what about the rest of us? I'm still waiting from October for somebody from the Met Police to come and see about a break-in of a colleague. You get the picture. But now there's this circulating. Now let me get down to this story because this is circulating around a lot. And this, as you know, is regarding Harry's return and where is he going to stay. Now, as I've told you, he has those options, St James's Palace and Buckingham Palace. Apparently he doesn't like those options. The story goes he might want to go into a private hotel, but that costs money. It costs money because they have to take floors, right? People forget that. They're not just going to be in a room or whatever. Then you've got security. So the ideal situation really would be to stay with family or friends. The last time Harry was here, he stayed at a private members club. Didn't work out particularly well, apparently. Can't say too much more about that at the moment, but that wasn't great. And what's interesting is now the story goes he may be staying up at his mother's late abode, ancestral home, Althorp, alongside, of course, her brother, Charles Spencer. Now, what's interesting, I find, as you know, I know Charles Spencer, met him on a number of occasions. I like him, he's a nice guy. He's very entertaining. I know all the background of the marriages and stuff. That's his personal life. You take people as you find them. I think he's a really good writer. If you've ever been to there, do let the chums know. I thoroughly enjoyed it, Little sad with Diana and all of that, but their history, you realise just how well connected Diana was in terms of a dynasty and royal association. The reason why people are speculating that Meghan and Harry will be staying there is this. On the 10th and the 11th of July, the whole thing is closed. Now, it's been open and then it closes for 2 days. Now, what's interesting about this was originated on the 29th of March of this year. So normally it had a free run last year. Why is it closed down? Well, here's the deal, right? I've been told that there's a private function. Now, that's not normally unknown, as it were, because we have concerts going in Sandringham, as you know, and various other things, Kew Gardens, all that. So these big houses, this is how they fund a lot of their, stuff, really. Society weddings, that sort of stuff, photo shoots. That's not necessarily unknown. However, I can't find any trace of any big event coming forward. You might just say, well, if you know him, why can't you ask him? Tricky, right? But it is my belief, speaking to excellent sources there, that that is the option should Harry wish. Now you might say, oh, well, there's 2 points. This is also very clear and near to Birmingham, Northamptonshire area, not that far away. So it wouldn't take that long in terms of travel. It's very much behind a very security gated wall. The other point is that Harry then wouldn't have to ask, would he, about whether he, can stay in the palace, doesn't have to go through William, doesn't have to go through His Majesty the King. You see how this works. Consequently, this is them saying, we don't necessarily need you. If we do need to come over and stay, we have other options. And remember, this is where Harry went the last time and was spurned about the opportunity to switch names from Mountbatten Windsor to Spencer. I, in my personal belief, do not believe that Charles Spencer would turn away his own sister's son. But it's interesting to note because this will prove quite divisive in many respects and throws another curveball into the will they, won't they meet with the king, because clearly there's still some issues there if you get the picture. Right now, nobody wants to confirm anything but that's exactly the way the Markle-Harkles like it.
Questions are circulating about Prince Harry's accommodation options during future visits to the United Kingdom. Frogmore Cottage, once considered his UK base, is reportedly no longer available, according to reports, a decision linked to Prince William's wishes regarding the Windsor estate. Royal residences including Buckingham Palace and St James's Palace have been suggested as alternatives, though commentators suggest Harry has expressed reservations about both options. Private members' clubs have reportedly been considered, though previous stays of this kind were, by some accounts, unsuccessful. Now, speculation is growing around Althorp, the Spencer family ancestral home, as a potential base. These claims remain unconfirmed, though the estate is notably closed to visitors on the 10th and 11th of July, with sources indicating a private function may be scheduled. Could the Spencer family connection offer Harry a path entirely independent of royal accommodation decisions?